Hi guys, I had a whole video planned today about law of attraction and karma, but I'm actually feeling guided and you've heard me talk about how I go by sort of gut and intuition. I feel like somebody needs to hear this today. There seems to be a lot of people at the moment I'm talking to that are really struggling with certain things at the moment. And it brought me back to 3 years ago. 3 years ago, I was living with my ex-fiance, my daughter. We had a lovely house, 3 floors, garage, nice garden, had a BMW X6, TVs in the back. I was very materialistic. All of these things that I had actually owned me because I gave my energy to them. And in fact, by doing so, when I knew that when I lost these things, I'd feel like a nobody. So it was myself giving my power away to something outside of me. And at the time, I went through a bad stage of being back addicted to drugs. And I'm the sort of person, when I go to a low point, I go really low. So I got to the point where I couldn't commit suicide, and I didn't want to, but I went and bought £5,000 worth of drugs and just thought to myself, I'm just going to sit and I'm just going to enjoy myself and see what happens and plow through it. And I got to the point where I just thought, I'm fucking indestructible. Like, how's this going to end? And not only was I addicted to drugs, I was addicted to sex, I was addicted to porn. To the point where I thought I was getting so paranoid that I thought my fiance was cheating on me. And again, all of these things, giving your energy away to things outside of you. So, I mean, porn addiction is something that if you look into it, it sets off more fireworks in your brain than heroin does. And if you're combining that with a drug as well, the paranoia from the drug, and I don't actually believe the drugs are that bad. The sleep deprivation is what really, because I've played around with sleep deprivation without any drugs, and that lowers your vibration to a point where you can start to hear things just by itself without even taking the drugs. But the drugs on top of it, and then the paranoia. I mean, I got to a point where there was one night where I'm sitting in my toilet and I've got a knife in one hand, I've got my iPad in the other hand, I've got 4 grams of cocaine in my back pocket, and I'm phoning the police thinking someone's breaking in my house. And I'm locked in my toilet. But then I'm such a good blagger, the police turned up and I sit there sweating my tits off and talking them out of it. So I just want people to know that there are lots and lots of people going through similar sorts of things like this, but not talking about it. I've always been able to talk about my feelings quite a lot. I owned a hair salon for 5 years and I worked in the hairdressing industry. And one thing I noticed was the reason that male suicide was so high through guys over 55 was because women would come in the salon and they just talk to each other about their problems, but guys would not talk to each other. They just bottle it up and bottle it up. And it's one of the leasts I took out of their books was I'd always talk about my feelings and emotions. So I never actually ever had the urge to do anything, to commit suicide or anything, apart from that time when I thought I'm just going to do as much drugs as I can and see what happens. But the way things are at the moment, people are really starting to realise that 9-to-5 jobs, if you're not happy in your job, leave. Something will come up, find something you enjoy doing. People are stuck in jobs that they're not enjoying. The way things are at the moment, so many people are not understanding the energies that are going on at the moment and feeling really trapped in their lives. I just want to say that I was there 3 years ago and I got to the point where I had a massive breakdown. I lost everything. I haven't seen my daughter for 18 months. But would I change any of it? I wouldn't change any of it. Yes, I regret that there was a couple of people that got caught in the crossfire. And if I could change that, then I would make it so that those people didn't get caught in the crossfire. But the experiences that I had and the things that I went through and the things I was seeing and as I said, I took myself to the lowest low points. And when I got to that low point, I said to myself, I'm going to make myself go 20% lower because I'm not ever going back here. Once this is it, that's the fucking low point and it's only up from here. And I didn't get out of bed for 4 days. And I just had a bit of an epiphany. And within 6 months, I went off and started learning astral projection, started learning meditation, started learning yoga. my whole life changed to a point where I need a telescope to look at the person I was 3 years ago now. And I see why I had to go through all of this. I've always been someone who helps people and someone who I consider to be a healer in effect. And if you're watching this video, there's a high percentage that you're drawn to this video, you're resonating with this because you're a healer too. But what I want to say to you is you can never ever heal anyone from a cup that's half full. And for 30 years, I was always helping people from a cup that was half full. And what happens if your cup's half full, all you're going to attract is energy vampires. Because people who genuinely need help will see you as your half cup full, and their auras or their higher self will be like, this person doesn't know what he's talking about because his cup's only half full. So why am I going to listen to this guy when he's not even healed himself? But when you heal yourself and you fill your own cup up, the spillage that overflows out helps people just in your being. You don't have to do anything. You're a human being, not a human doing. So when you heal yourself, your vibration raises, your aura changes, and then just by being around people, people resonate towards you, and you heal people just by being around them. And this is not being big-headed. This is generally what happens. Generally, people will resonate to you. As I said, if you're watching this video, there's a high percentage you're being called into a healing path at the moment. Everybody I meet at the moment, for the last 2 years, I've been meeting some of the most amazing healers, psychics, mediums, book writers. I have got this vision that I really want to open up a healing hub within the next year's time. After I've done my 7-day retreat with 6 guys and 6 girls, showing how I can put people through all different ages of going without food and without water for 7 days, and how much of a healing effect. And once you realise you can do 7 days without food and water, 80%, 85% of the people that actually do this with me get through it. And when they do, they think, now I know I can go without food and water for 7 days. What the fuck else can I do? It just opens you up. It's mind-blowing. You start thinking, right, telepathy's now on the cards. Telekinesis. Why can't I move something? If I can see energy between me and something, and I can manipulate that energy between me and that cup over there, it's only a matter of time before I can use that energy between me and that cup to move that cup. And there's a guy in Fort Lauderdale in Miami that's already doing this. And he's actually got on videos. He's shown how you can do it with woods and not just metals. So it's nothing magnetic that's involved, but there's a spike in his brain waves when he does it, from like a theta brainwave up to like a gamma brainwave. So it shows you that there's something within him that he's creating to change his outer world, which is what happens. We create our outer worlds from our inner worlds. So when you're feeling happy, when you're feeling good things happen because you're vibrating high and those things get drawn to you. When you're feeling bad or when you're sending out bad vibes, that's when bad things come to you. One thing I was always very wary of, always growing up, and I never knew in the back of my mind that I was telling myself something, is when someone says to you, karma's a bitch, be very wary of that person. I've had a lot of exes say, karma's a bitch. Karma is just law of attraction, because whatever you send out to people, it comes back to you. So if karma's being a bitch to you, it's because you're sending out some shit fucking energy. Now, even if you're sending out shit energy, you might be doing this unconsciously, because there's a lot of people that do it unconsciously. But then don't see karma as a bitch, see karma as your greatest teacher. Because when you see that connection between what you're doing and it coming back to you, things will change massively. Because when you see that and you start sending out good energies, you only get good things come to you. And 3 years ago, when I changed my whole mindset from the affirmations I was saying to myself, I felt my aura change. I felt my energy change. I started to see people fall out of my life. I started to see people come into my life with all of the things that I'd been saying and affirming that was in me. So all of the things that I'd been affirming and saying within myself, all of a sudden, all the people around me are appearing with these qualities. Coincidence? I don't think so. It's because I'm embodying these qualities. The people around me are going to have these qualities. Because like attracts like. Whatever you're vibrating at, that's what you will draw to you. So I felt a need to do this video today, and to do it, as girls would say, no makeup, no hair done, no just pretty fucking raw. So if any of you are going through a time like this, just know that you're not alone. Some of us have been through it. Some of us are still going through it. But yeah, you're definitely not alone. Reach out and talk to someone. If you're a guy and you're watching this and this is making you well up, I mean, I'm welling up a little bit now. If it's resonating with you, feel free to inbox me or put a comment in the comment below. There'd be a lot of people. As I say, if you're finding this video, it's not coincidence. Coincidences don't exist. It's synchronicity. I felt the need to put this out there today, and I had a whole other video planned, and I don't talk about my personal life at all really anymore. But for some reason, I got back and I was just about to do my video, and I had this urge and this calling to just put this out there. So yeah, you're not alone if you're going through something. And if you want to talk, reach out to someone. I can give you some people to talk to. You can talk to me. You can come to some of the groups that we host. We do events. I do events, men's awareness groups. We do public speaking events. You can feel free to come along to any of these. I can give you the details to any of them. Just comment in the link below or inbox me on mindbodysoulspiritcoach@gmail.com. Yeah, I hope you are all having a nice day. Part of me feels like I just offloaded that, but I think vulnerability is a very, very big thing that's coming out in the collective at the moment. There's a great program on Netflix at the moment about vulnerability, and I'll even go as far to say as I hosted a event probably about 6 to 7 months, 50 people, and I wanted it to be based around vulnerability. And I thought, you know what, I'll lay the gauntlet down. I've got no, you can't, I'm an open book. If everybody knows everything about me, then I've got nothing to hide. And I got on stage and I was with my friend Luke, and we just experienced a mushroom ceremony the week before. And I said to Luke, you know what, I'm going to tell everyone in the audience exactly what happened, and laid a gauntlet down. And if someone can be as vulnerable as I'm being today, then they get a prize. And I said in front of everyone, I did a mushroom ceremony last week. There was 19 of us in the room, and I took off all of my clothes. I did 45 grams of mushrooms, and I got naked and pissed on my best friend Luke. And I said, the moral of this story is he actually hugs me and said, I'm here for you, brother. If you want to shit on me, you can shit on me. Just do what you need to do. And I'd never felt that connection with another guy, because I'd always been competing with guys my whole life. There's a whole thing around divine masculine that we have to compete with each other. We're not here to compete with each other. The only person you're competing with is yourself. Karma, the law of attraction, be as nice to as many people as you can. Don't talk bad about people, because their auras, their higher selves, we're all connected. So when you talk bad or you start slagging someone off, part of them is you're slagging off yourself in essence, because it's going to come back to you at some point. I stopped doing this 3 years ago, and the effects it's had on my life are absolutely astronomical. So clean up your energy, clean up your energy field, even spend time on your own and clean up your energy field, and then just go out and see how things change. We're multi-dimensional beings. You can go, Dante, the Divine Comedy was written in the 1500s, and he goes from hell to earth to heaven in one day. I've done this before. I've been so low, vibrating at that low, and then worked my way through, and then been buzzing by the end of the day. It's just about changing your vibration up. You can go through timelines, you can go through dimensions. You could be standing at a zebra crossing and you could be vibrating at such a high level, but there could be someone 100 yards down the road from you that's having an absolutely terrible time. And what they're seeing in their reality is completely different from what you're seeing. They could both watch the same film, and one person will get a completely different meaning from it than the other person. Just like when people are saying they watched The Matrix 10 years ago and it was one film, and now they're watching it because their level of vibration is so much higher, they're so much more of an awoken person, that they're seeing a completely hidden meaning behind the film. The vibration of the planet has changed. people are awakening in 2012, the Mayan calendar. People started to shift into a higher vibration. Coming out of an asleep stage is, a lot of people are doing 95% today what they did yesterday. People are starting to become more conscious. And when you become more conscious, you realize that the 95% of the programs you're running might not be programs that you want in there. They might be picked up from a work colleague or a friend or someone that you're not aware of that program that was running in there. But now you're conscious about it. There's ways you can actually get into your subconscious and reprogram it. So if you want to operate from your subconscious 95% of the time, change the programs up so that you're running on autopilot with good programs as opposed to some of the negative ones. You can change it up. If you've got habits, you can change habits up. You can change them within as little as, I know a guy, and I can put you in contact with him. He says he can break people's habits in less than 3 minutes with Psych K. I've done some of this, and I believe it can be done in a very short period of time. I don't believe in 3 minutes. In less than 21 days, easily. I've done it with myself with several different things. 21 days to 60 days is when you change a habit, but I believe you can do it much less than that. There used to be a theory that every 11 years, you was a whole completely generated new person. Every cell in your body was new. Now they're saying it can be done in about 7 to 10 months. I believe with fasting and the right types of physical exertion and the right type of mental, I believe you can go through this in less than 3 months now. I believe you can change your whole structure, your whole mental structure, spiritual structure, and physical structure in less than 3 months. If you know what you're doing, fasting utilizes all of the cells in your body, all the shit gets used as energy. What you're left with, in effect, by the end of it, is the strongest version of yourself. If you combine this with getting to the root of your issues and crying, this releases a lot of emotion. A lot of energy gets stored in water. Take a look at the book, The Effects of Sound or The Effects of Energy on Water by Masaru Emoto. They're building computers now with hard drives out of water because water can store so much, and your body is 72% water. Your emotions can get blocked in there. Once you realize this and you can get energy flowing around your body, when I talk to people about going 28, 30 days without food, people tell me to fuck off and you can't do it. I say, do you know what? If that's your attitude, you can't do it because you don't believe it until you put that belief system in there. But when someone comes and spends 7 days with me and sees that I'm doing it, that changes their complete perspective. And not only do they see it, they actually start doing it themselves. Because when you spend time around energies, you actually take off some of that vibration. You've all heard the saying, the 5 people you spend the most amount of time with, you become the essence of. It's just vibrational transfer, that's all it is. I can actually go in, if I want to learn something, I had a friend who was amazing at public speaking, and I hated it. I didn't even need to learn off him. All I needed to do was stand by him and watch him and be around his energy. And his vibration rubbed off on me. And that's how you can do it. It's as simple as that. I was lucky enough to have 3 billionaire clients over the last 5 years. And even when I'm not working with these billionaire clients, I will generally try to meet up with one of them at least once a month to have lunch or dinner or just a coffee with, just to spend time around them. And you'd be surprised how many avenues and how many doors this opens just by being in that person's energy. You can pick up skills, gifts, talents, abilities just from spending time around someone. You don't even have to talk, because energy, as I said, is not the food you put in your mouth. Nutrition is also the thoughts you think, the energies you're around, the people you talk to, and the words you say. So if you really clear up your words, the thoughts you're thinking, the energies you're sending out about people, watch your dimension shift so quickly. And if you want any help in doing this, just email me or get in contact. So very random video today. Really putting myself out there with some of what I've said, and I might even go into more depth another time, but I think we'll leave it at that for today. I hope you're all having a really good week. It's midweek now, and please let me know if you'd like more videos like this in the comments below. Thanks for watching.